Mr. Trump said the FBI raided his home and even got into his safe. Sources tell NBC News the search all tied to classified information they say the former president allegedly took with him from the White House.
We have live team coverage of the raid and political reaction with NBC6 anchor Chris Anderson. But let's begin with NBC6's Cristian Benavides, who is live in West Palm Beach, which is just across the water from Mar-A-Lago.
Well, the former president wasn't even in Florida at the time that search warrant was executed, but that didn't stop a number of his supporters from showing up to show their support.
Near Mar-A-Lago, a group of the former president's supporters gathered Monday night after the FBI conducted a search warrant at the state earlier in the day. A source familiar with the matter telling NBC News that the search warrant was tied to classified information Trump allegedly took with him from the White House to his Palm Beach resort. Mr. Trump was not home at the time.
Mr. Trump, can we get your reaction to the raid, sir?
The former president didn't respond to reporters' questions outside Trump Tower in New York, but in a statement earlier in the day, he wrote in part that Mar-a-Lago was under siege, raided, and occupied by a large group of FBI agents, claiming it was unannounced and portraying himself as the victim of political persecution, adding, "They even broke into my safe."
This is the scene on Monday night right outside Trump's Mar-a-Lago where that search warrant took place earlier in the day. A number of Trump supporters have now gathered right in front of the state,
including this woman, a Cuban exile who has lived in South Florida for 58 years.
American people, why you not stand it up? Why you not ask to the FBI? Why is not doing that to Hunter and the big guy?
We live in a police state. That the FBI and the Democrats are using the justice system for political ends, as if we were in a third world country.
Earlier this year, the National Archives announced that classified material was discovered in 15 boxes of White House records stored at the state, referring that matter to the Justice Department. Eric Trump says he told his father about the search.
To have 30 FBI agents, actually more than that, descend on Mar-a-Lago, give absolutely, no notice, go through the gate, start ransacking an office, ransacking a closet. They broke into a safe. He didn't even have anything in the safe.
The Secret Service says that they facilitated access into the property, but they didn't participate in any aspect of the search. Meantime, there is a group of supporters that have also shown up here today. Live in West Palm Beach, I'm Cristian Benavides, NBC6 News.
All right, Cristian, thank you. Our live team coverage just continue now with the political reaction, of course, and what this all means for the future of former President Trump.
Chris Anderson here with a look and a breakdown for us.
Yeah, really what this is being called depends on which side of the aisle that you're on. Some say it was just the FBI executing a search warrant, while the Republicans and former President Trump calling this a raid. This morning, both sides reacting to what happened during the agency's surprise visit to Mar-a-Lago.
We're definitely in uncharted territory.
Reaction pouring in from Republicans, Democrats, and political experts after what happened Monday at Donald Trump's famed Palm Beach estate.
You have a former president with having his personal residence searched by the FBI. There's a very high bar for a warrant to be issued and for a judge to basically say yes.
Why the judge said yes and what the FBI agents were looking for, still a mystery.
It would be interesting to find out exactly what the warrant was in order to have, what the order was to have a search warrant and for what purpose.
A senior government official tells NBC News that the warrant was connected to the National Archives and 15 boxes of documents that were improperly taken from the White House. Republicans blasting the move. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis tweeting out, "The raid of Mar-a-Lago is another escalation in the weaponization of federal agencies against the regime's political opponents, while people like Hunter Biden get treated with kid gloves." And Florida Senator Marco Rubio writing, "The FBI isn't doing anything about the groups vandalizing Catholic churches, firebombing pro-life groups, or threatening Supreme Court justices, but they find time to raid Mar-a-Lago." We spoke to former U.S. Attorney Kendall Coffey about what it would take for a warrant like this one to be issued.
For a federal search warrant to be executed at a home, there has to be probable cause that a crime was committed and probable cause to believe that evidence of criminal activity would be found in the premises being searched. That's not good news for former President Donald Trump.
Whether the agents found any of that evidence inside Mar-A-Lago, also still unknown. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy lashing out at the Justice Department, saying it had reached an intolerable state of weaponized politicization, and warning Democrats there will be oversight of the department if Republicans are victorious in November's midterm elections. Pelosi dismissing the threat.
We believe in the rule of law, and that's what our country is about, and no person is above the law. Not even the President of the United States, not even a former President of the United States.
So what does this mean for Donald Trump's future? Legally speaking, we're going to have to wait and see. Will there be an indictment? We don't know at this point. But what about his potential run for the White House? Trump's been dropping hints lately that he will indeed run for office in 2024 in the presidential race. And a person close to the former president telling NBC News that if he wasn't running before, he is now. We'll have to wait and see if that's the case.